Hey, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if I've changed the name or not, and we're just gonna leave that ambiguous for now. Today we're gonna do something a little different. In my last episode, I talked about possibly doing more experimental content, less like showing you a recipe and more kind of a fun challenge, a fun experiment to try out and kind of test some of my cooking knowledge and maybe even give some advice that could be interesting to people. So today we're going to do a thing where I'm going to have my lovely assistant give me a entree from one of your typical like fast casual food chains like Applebee's, TGI Fridays, or Chili's, or any of those kind of things. And I need to, one, pick out the different ingredients in it. Two, I need to go and buy those ingredients for at the cost of the entree or the food item, at that cost or less per serving. And then three, I've got to make it better so that this way somebody can pick their favorite menu item from one of the fast casual places and you can make it by yourself for less money and probably more of it, hopefully, if I can actually do this correctly. Just because I know right now that, you know, food prices are a little high, just and so are gas prices and everything else, and the economy is not looking so hot, but you know, maybe this can help some people out. So without further ado, will my lovely assistant please place the item in front of me? We've got TGI Fridays to go order. I'm excited. I don't even know if I've ever eaten a TGI Fridays. It is something. What is that? Mashed potatoes, chicken, bell peppers, onions, shrimp, some kind of tomato sauce. I think this is cheese. Is this like fajitas with mashed potatoes on the side? Is this potatoes? Hang on. Let's see. Let's go ahead and try the chicken. It's not bad. Mashed potatoes are fine. It's kind of, you know, hard to screw those up. Let's see here. A little bit of pepper here. Whoop. That was a tough piece of chicken. Let's see here. This might be like a salsa, not a tomato sauce, now that I think about it. Let's see. Or shrimp. Blackened shrimp. Good bit of black pepper. A little tangy. Yeah, I think this is just like fajitas with chicken breast, shrimp, some kind of little tomato salsa thing, cheese, bell pepper, onion, and mashed potatoes. Am I close?
Close.
Close? Oh man, I'm missing something. Uh-oh. Chicken breast, seasoned, probably marinated in some kind of acid, like lime juice or orange. You've got shrimp with some kind of salsa. You've got bell peppers, onions, little moisture cheese, and then you got mashed potatoes, which probably have like butter in them. And that, I mean, honestly, that's all I can get. What am I looking at cost-wise? How much did this set us back?
Let me double check.
Okay.
$12.99.
$12.99 for 2 big juice of potatoes? That's not, damn, TGI Fridays is not too bad. But we can do better. So $12.99. So we're gonna have to meet or beat. So we'll be back to prep this with ingredients that I get from the store here in a second. So we'll be back in 1, 2, 3. All right, here we are. I have gone to the grocery store and bought everything necessary to make this meal that I ate previously. And I've gone ahead and done the liberty of chopping everything up, but we'll go through it here in a few minutes. First things first, let's get started on those mashed potatoes because they're gonna take the longest. So I've already got this pot boiling right now. I have salted the ever-loving hell out of it because, quite frankly, that is the way you get good mashed potatoes. You don't wanna try and salt it after it's already been mashed because it's not really gonna effectively go through all the potatoes evenly. So I'm salting the water with a lot of salt, but it's not all gonna be in there, right? It's a salty solution because not all this water is gonna be utilized. So let's go ahead and start boiling our potatoes. Go ahead and get to boiling. And I want these things nice and smooth because that is what was going on with that dish. That was incredibly smooth, most likely powdered potatoes. So let's go ahead and go through how to make that salsa that we saw on top of the shrimp. We're gonna make salsa from scratch here. You can make a little pico de gallo, which is, I'm horribly mispronouncing, right? Pretty simply from scratch. I just got a Roma tomato. Where is my bench? There's my bench scraper. I got a Roma tomato because they're a little bit firmer and are probably going to be picked more likely while they're really ripened. So I got that, a little bit of onion. We're going to chop that up even more finely over here. And then we're going to add that into that bowl right there with a little bit of cilantro and lime juice. So let's go ahead and get that really nice and chopped. Cool. All right, so that's pretty finely chopped. Might do a cutaway there. Let's go ahead and put that into our bowl. So this is easily like way more salsa than what was on top of those shrimp, right? Cost-wise, this is, you know, like 5-6 portions of what they were giving us. So we're gonna take a little bit for cilantro, we're gonna save the rest for garnish, put it on in there, and I'm gonna put in lime juice. So, man, these are really bad limes, but this is all they had, you know. But that goes to show you there's like some issues with produce right now that I think a lot of people are noticing, so trying to get the most out of it that we can. So let's squeeze all these limes here. This is the worst lime I've ever had in my life. Good God. There's no juice. That's a dry lime right here. Dry as the frickin' desert, man. Let's give that a mix. And one of the reasons I'm doing this ahead of time is that if you're making a salsa or pico like this, you want it to kind of marinate. And the longer it sits, the better it's gonna be. So I want it to have a little bit of time to really let that acidity really seep through. So let's get a little bit of salt going on. A little bit of pepper. Definitely needs more lime juice, but this is all we got. We'll jack up the cost a little bit of this thing and add in another lime, because that lime was really bad. That's a decent lime right there. Let's see, we really want it to be nice and fresh and bright. And without decent lime juice, we're not gonna get there, right? Let's see here. 1,000 times better. You want your knife to slide nice and easily through it. Definitely still some bite. So this is gonna cook for a little while. Really need this to finish up before I really do anything else, because the good thing about mashed potatoes is they can kind of just chill. They're gonna retain their heat really well. So once those are done, we'll be back here to actually add a little bit of a Mexican or Tex-Mex kind of flair to them, because one thing I didn't really like about just having a mashed potatoes as a side to fajitas is that, you know, they were good, they were buttery mashed potatoes, but they didn't really complement it. So we're gonna jazz them up a little bit. So we'll be back with that when these are nice and tender and cooked through in 1, 2, 3. All right, that actually was a lot quicker than I expected. So now we've got our nice and par-cooked mashed potatoes, or not par-cooked, they're pretty well and damn cooked. Let's go ahead and mash them up, and while I'm doing that, if I can get my masher, good Lord. I'm gonna go ahead and start preheating my cast iron. I've got this oven preheated at 200. I'm gonna cook this chicken in this cast iron really quickly, but we're gonna keep using that for our peppers and onions and shrimp, and I don't want the chicken to get cold, but I don't want it to kind of keep cooking, so we've got like a low heat warm oven for that later. Let's go ahead and mash this up, get this nice and creamy. Now, I would have probably actually used some kind of fat, like cream cheese or something, which, let me tell you, will do wonders for your mashed potatoes. Go ahead and add in some butter as well. Said it's probably gonna be better, which usually doesn't mean healthy, right? Isn't that bad for you, honest to God. Okay. Using some kind of like thicker fat, like maybe if I used whole milk, or if I used cream cheese or sour cream, you can get much silkier consistency. But I wasn't sure if that was in it, so I went with what I could taste, and I could taste butter and I could taste potatoes, so that's what we're rocking here. Well, that's getting hot. That's smoking. Okay, that's not bad. Needs some more seasoning, but let's go ahead and get started with our chicken here. So I made a little marinade of lime juice. We've got some oil. We've got a different spice blend, which I'll go over later. just to give this thing a nice flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and sear this off. Get it nice and browned here. Get a nice good sear to it. So the spice blend I usually use is like garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. I'll use a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of chili powder, and I'll use a little bit of paprika, usually smoked paprika if I can. So let's go ahead and try and get the mashed potatoes to taste kind of in the same ballpark of flavors as that chicken. We're gonna let it get a nice crisp. So let's go ahead and add in a little bit of chili powder, good amount. And then secret weapon here, one, it needs a little bit more salt. Oh, not that salt. Let's do a little bit of seasoning salt. I think that'll do really good. So a little bit of seasoning salt in here. Get my tongs ready. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and charred. I dig that. I dig that a lot. Oop, has this been on high this whole time? Oh my God. That would not be good. All right, that's looking good. Yeah, that's nice, that's nice. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, I might even turn that up a little bit. So let's go ahead and add in our peppers. There we go. I like to let those go first a little bit just to really soften them up. I'm gonna do a splash of wine to deglaze that pan. If I set my fire alarm off, I'll probably cut. All right, so this is gonna go in here to kind of finish off. I always just keep a thing of wine on hand just to deglaze my pan with. Just because you want to have that fond you're developing really help out the rest of your food. Otherwise, you know, why are you searing something off? I could just bake it or whatever. Go ahead and start getting these nice and going. They've got a good head start. Let's add in our onions. Let these get nice and seared up. Now to help them sweat out, release some of their moisture, I'll add a pinch of salt. That'll help them get nice and soft. I want a little bit of bite, but they need to soften up quite a bit. We'll be back to finish that up. I don't want to waste y'all's time. We'll finish these, get nice and soft, and then we'll cook up these shrimp real quick in 1, 2, 3. All right, this is basically nice and soft. The chicken is getting there. We're gonna test that chicken real quick to make sure we're coming up to temperature, and then we're gonna do our shrimp real quickly. The shrimp, I bought whole, frozen, and uncooked. So it's actually more cost effective to get it when it's still got the shell on and uncooked, just because they're probably chopping the head off and throwing it into deep freeze relatively quickly. So what I'm gonna do here is tear up some of this Oaxaca cheese that we saw kind of just underneath it all for some reason. I don't know why. We're gonna let that melt on top of this, sort of like you're making yourself a chicken parm or something, right? I'll go back under, cancel, broil. I'm gonna do low because I just don't want things to burn. No, I can. Broil on low, start, there we go. Right there, perfect. So that's gonna go. I'm doing the same number of shrimp I saw. I think it was 5. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt. Not too much though. And now I could taste that they were seasoned with lime juice. So we'll hit them with a little bit of that. Don't want this to burn, so we kind of push it off to the side there. How we doing here? Oh yeah, that's looking good. Now, absolutely cutting the heat. Once you cook one side of shrimp like this, they really just need to coast on the other side. They'll cook through. So I'm even gonna set it to the side. The cast iron will stay up to temperature pretty easily. So those will vibe out for just a second while we check on this. Yeah, good thing I did that. That's what we wanted, baby. There we go. Okay, so nice. That's got this nice little like melty texture to it. That's gonna be really, really good. I'm very excited about that. Cool. I'm going to eat this. Oh. Oh. Everything's ready. We're gonna plate it, and then we're gonna get to the pricing and the scoring in 1, 2, 3. All right, all my assistants have shown up, including this little fuzzy one. What's up, buddy? And this is the finished product. So, granted, the shrimp needs to be 5 per one portion, but I was kind and gave some to my lovely assistant's dish. So, let's dig in, see how it tastes, and see how I did. My furry assistant wishes that he had a plate too. Let's see here. That's cool. Don't mind me, this is also my dinner, so let me have a couple more bites here, and then we can get to the rating. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely less salty than the other, which I think is a good choice. The mashed potatoes are different. They're not classic mashed potatoes, you spice them. I think that works really well. The chicken is much better cooked.
Fair.
As is the shrimp.
Fair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we've got the taste.
You're well under budget.
Well under budget. What was our total?
$6.54.
$6.54 for a single portion. Okay, so double that, and we're basically looking at, you could pay the same price for that entree at TGI Fridays and have 2 full portions of it. Granted, the shrimp is a little bit extra, so we might go a little bit over that. But for one portion, we're well under budget of $12.95. Now, here's the real question. Did I get all the ingredients?
You were close.
I was close. What did I miss? Or did I add something?
You didn't, you kind of flip-flopped some things.
Okay.
So, the chicken was a garlic marinated chicken.
Oh, okay.
You had mashed potatoes, peppers, onions, everything else you got. And then the cheese was a different kind.
Okay.
So they used American and pepper jack.
That's how they got that
Opposed
melting.
to Oaxaca.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I'm gonna give you a 3 out of 5.
Gotcha. On the accuracy. Different cheese, and there is no garlic in this dish. That is a fair thing. Although I can't stop eating it. All right, so 3 out of 5 accuracy.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 taste, and then 5 out of 5 price-wise. So we're looking at 13 out of 15 score. I'll take that. That's not too bad for a first try. Well, I'm gonna just devour this real quick because I am starving. This is a lot of work. Just a quick reminder though, for a lot of these videos you see where it's a cheaper version of this, cheaper version of that, it usually is dependent on that you have certain pantry essentials. So if you didn't have the spices that I used to make this, including garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cayenne, that's gonna cost you more money. Granted, they will last you months and months and months. So they're a good investment, but it's just something to be aware of when you look at these videos of, oh, I can make this meal for $2. That is with the caveat that you have these ingredients a lot of the time. But, you know, you build your pantry staples, you can make a lot of really cheap meals of things you love at different restaurants. But, you know, thanks for joining me on this journey. I'm going to eat this entire thing in probably under 5 minutes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.